Okay, students, this is the chapter today we are going to deal, that is aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. Fine. Let us go to the synopsis of this chapter. First, I will discuss that is synopsis of that aldehydes. Next, we will go for the that is carboxylic acids. Okay. So this is a preparation of aldehydes, right? So preparation of aldehydes, how the aldehydes are prepared. Okay, you can see in the that is how aldehydes are prepared. So aldehydes can be prepared by how many methods? That is by oxidation of alcohols, then by catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acids, then hydroboration and oxidation of alkynes, ozonolysis of alkenes, and from Zem dihalides. So these are the methods from which we can prepare that is aldehydes and ketones. Okay, oxidation of alcohols, catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acids, hydroboration and oxidation of alkynes, and ozonolysis of alkenes, and from them dihalides. See from how many functional groups we are going to prepare this aldehydes. Let us have a look. See here, we can prepare aldehydes from that is alcohols we can prepare. Okay, aldehydes can be prepared from alcohols. We can prepare aldehydes from that is carboxylic acids also. From carboxylic acids also we can prepare. And we can prepare from alkynes also. Okay, and we can prepare from alkenes also, and we can prepare from the alkyl halides, that is gem dihalides also. That means we can prepare this aldehydes and ketones from 5 functional groups: alcohol functional group, carboxylic acid functional group. From alkynes we can prepare, from alkenes we can prepare, from gem dihalides also we can prepare. Okay, let us enter into the details. Oxidation of alcohols. So when alcohol is undergoing oxidation, okay, with potassium dichromate and in the presence of dilute H2SO4, this alcohol will be converted into the aldehyde, right? So if you are taking that is secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol gives what you are going to get. Secondary alcohol gives ketone. Secondary alcohol gives ketone. Primary alcohol gives that is aldehyde. Primary alcohol will give aldehyde. Secondary alcohol will give ketone. Fine. Next, catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acid. So here you can see one carboxylic acid. So here carboxylic acid upon that is heat passing the vapors over manganese oxide in the presence of 573 Kelvin, you are going to get the aldehyde. Okay. So here you can see that is formic acid we have to take here. Here we have to take the formic acid, and you are going to get the aldehyde. And here carboxylic acid upon treatment with higher acids. Okay, so what you are going to get? You are going to get the ketones. Next, hydroboration oxidation of alkynes. So hydroboration oxidation of alkynes. So we are taking the terminal alkyne. Okay, we are taking the terminal alkyne, and we are adding that is diborane. We are adding the diborane in the presence of THF, tetrahydrofuran. And thereby what happens here? So here hydrogen will be added to this one, and BH2 will be added to this one. And what you are going to get? You are going to get that is this compound. Okay, we are going to get an intermediate compound. Okay, we are going to get an intermediate compound. This intermediate compound on that is upon treatment with hydrogen peroxide, we are going to get a compound. This compound, what we are calling it as enol. This compound, what you are calling it as enol. Why means it is having 2 functional groups. One is double bond, other is OH. We are going to get enol. That enol will be converted to the aldehyde. Right. If you are taking this is non-terminal alkyne. You are taking, this is a non-terminal alkyne. This is terminal alkyne. Okay, terminal alkyne means the triple bond will be present at the that is first carbon or last carbon. Non-terminal alkyne means the triple bond will be present between. Okay, so for this, if you are doing the same thing, that is upon addition of diborane in the presence of a solvent called tetrahydrofuran, same we are going to get the intermediate, like the previous example, how we are going to get same. We are going to get the intermediate. This on that is hydrolysis, sorry, on on treatment with hydrogen peroxide, the presence of basic medium, we are going to get same enol form. This enol form will be converted into the ketone. This enol form will undergo tautomerization to form the ketone form. Right. Next, ozonolysis of alkenes. So upon ozonolysis of alkenes, what you are going to get? So here, when you are doing ozonolysis, what simple technique? So here, you have to break at the double bond like this, and you add one oxygen here, and you add another oxygen here. Okay, this part RCHO, this one, and the right part is R dash C double bond O R dash. Okay, we are going to get aldehyde. We are going to get here aldehyde, and ketone you are going to get. So ozonolysis of alkenes also we are going to get the carbonyl compounds. Just you have to add, cut the double bond, add oxygen at left side, and add one more oxygen at the right side, and you are going to get the compound. Next, from Zem dihalides. From Zem dihalides also we can prepare this aldehydes as well as ketones. How can we prepare from Zem dihalides? So here if you take this Zem dihalides, so Zem dihalides means so the halogens which are attached to the same carbon. You see here chlorine, we have two chlorine in this compound. These two chlorines are attached to the same carbon. So this carbon we are calling it as geminal carbon. What we are calling this as geminal carbon. Okay, so here what happens to the geminal carbon? So when you are treating this geminal carbon, okay, so carbon compound containing geminal carbon, we are calling it as geminal halides. Okay, so here this is geminal dihalide. So because the chlorines are attached to the same carbon, these upon treatment with aqueous KOH or barium hydroxide, anyone aqueous KOH or barium hydroxide, what happens means in the place of Cl, what you are going to get? OH you are going to get. So geminal dihalides upon treatment with aqueous KOH, geminal dihalides upon treatment with aqueous KOH, what you are going to get? You are going to get gem diols. You are going to get the gem diols. I will draw the gem diol structure here. So this is the gem diol structure. Okay, this is the gem diols. Now these gem diols are unstable. Okay, this just upon heating, what happens means it will lose the water molecule. So it will lose the water molecule. So upon heating, what happens means it will lose the water molecule like this. So water molecule will be eliminated from this. After elimination of water molecule, what you are going to get? You are going to get the same compound. That is, you are going to get the ketone. You are going to get the ketone like this. Okay, so this is the procedure. First, gem dihalides we have to convert into gem diols. Okay, so this here, this is a two-step process. Okay, so first you have to treat this gem dihalides with aqueous KOH, that will convert into gem diols. So this is gem diols. Okay, this is a gem diol. These gem diols are unstable and it will lose water molecule immediately, and you are going to get the ketone. You are going to get the ketone. Fine. So this is the preparation. So we can prepare aldehydes and ketones from alcohols by oxidation of alcohols, and we can prepare by catalytic decomposition of carboxylic acids, and by hydroboration oxidation of alkynes, and by ozonolysis of alkenes, and from them dihalides. So this is the preparation. After preparation, next what we have to go? We have to go for we have to go for this physical properties. So what are the physical properties of this aldehydes and ketones? Okay, let us go for the physical properties. Right, physical properties. So physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So here the first property is what we are discussing is solubility property. We are discussing the solubility. Right here. So we are discussing about the solubility property. Solubility and mass, how it is proportional, inversely proportional. That means more the solubility. So more the molecular mass is less solubility. That means if you are taking that is formaldehyde, you are taking formaldehyde, and you are taking that is acetaldehyde, CH3CH4. Okay, and you are taking that is propanaldehyde, so CH3, CH2, CH4. So what happens upon going from top to bottom? Upon going from top to bottom, what happens? Molecular mass is increasing, right? So here, upon going from top to bottom, the molecular weight is increasing. What happens to the solubility? Solubility is going to get decreases. Solubility is decreasing. Okay. So from top to bottom, the molecular weight increases and solubility is going to get decreases. Okay. So this is the first point. Next one. Next, compounds up to 4 carbon atoms are soluble in water. Okay. Up to 4 carbon atoms. That means they are telling about formaldehyde, acetaldehyde, that is next to propanaldehyde, next to butyraldehyde. So these are the 4 compounds. These 4 compounds are water soluble, they are saying. These 4 compounds are water soluble. Okay. Why? Because due to that is hydrogen bonding. Because due to hydrogen bonding, these 4 compounds are water soluble. Next, third property is about the boiling points. Third physical property is about the boiling point. So these aldehydes and ketones is having this type of interactions. It is having that is dipole-dipole interactions. These are having the dipole-dipole interactions. So because of having dipole-dipole interactions, the boiling points are higher. Okay, the boiling points are higher than the corresponding carboxylic acids. So the boiling points of aldehydes and ketones are higher than the corresponding carboxylic acids. Corresponding hydrocarbons or ethers. But it is having lesser than alcohols. It is having lesser than alcohols or carboxylic acids, because alcohols and carboxylic acids are able to form what it is able to form. It is able to form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. It is able to form the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So because of the hydrogen bonding, okay, so this having that more boiling point. Okay, and this is about the third point. And fourth point, due to electron donating alkyl groups, ketones are having higher boiling points than the corresponding aldehydes. This is very important point here. You have to remember this one. Because of two electron donating alkyl groups. Because of two electron donating alkyl groups. Okay, ketones have higher boiling points. Ketones are having higher boiling points than the corresponding aldehydes. So which is having more boiling point? Ketones or aldehydes? Ketones are having more boiling point compared to aldehydes. Okay. So this is about the physical properties. Understood? Physical property. The first physical property is discussing about the solubility. The solubility is inversely proportional to molecular mass. And second physical property is saying about the hydrogen bonding. The first 4 compounds are water soluble. Okay, because due to hydrogen bonding. That means these 4 compounds are able to show that is able to form hydrogen bonding. These 4 compounds are able to form hydrogen bonding. So because of these 4 compounds are able to form hydrogen bonding, so this is water soluble. These 4 compounds are water soluble. But higher aldehydes and ketones are water insoluble. Why? Means because the molecular mass is more. Third point is saying about the dipole-dipole interactions. So this dipole-dipole interactions, what they are saying here, dipole-dipole interactions. So because these aldehydes and ketones are having the dipole-dipole interactions. So because of dipole-dipole interactions, the boiling points of aldehydes, and ketones, the boiling points of aldehydes and ketones are greater than the corresponding hydrocarbons, or ethers. Okay, that means if you compare the boiling points of aldehydes and ketones, the boiling point of aldehyde and ketone is more. The boiling point of aldehyde and ketone is greater than hydrocarbons and ethers of corresponding weight. The carbons and ethers. But the boiling point of aldehyde and ketone is less than the boiling point of carboxylic acids. And if you are taking the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones less than the boiling point of alcohols and carboxylic acids. Here I will write here. So if you are comparing the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, this boiling point of aldehydes and ketones is less than the boiling point of alcohols and carboxylic acids. Why? What is the reason? Because this alcohols and carboxylic acids able to form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. It is able to form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the boiling points of that is alcohols and carboxylic acid is more. Okay, and here the fourth point. What does the fourth point will say is that this is very important. I said na, the boiling point of ketones are more than the boiling point of aldehydes. Why? What is the reason here? Because as I said that because here ketones are having two electron donating alkyl groups. Okay, so this is our physical property. Next, we will go for the next screen share, that is chemical properties. Let us discuss the chemical properties. Chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Just a minute. This is not. Right. This is the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. So you know that aldehydes and ketones are having carbonyl functional group, C double bond O functional group. So this C double bond O functional group is able to show that is nucleophilic addition reactions. It is able to show nucleophilic addition reactions. You can see here in the image that is nucleophile is added to the carbon because carbon is having that is a partial positive charge. Carbon is having partial positive charge and nucleophile is having the negative charge, so it will add to this one. So the pi bond is shifted towards oxygen and the nucleophile will add to this one. And you are going to get a tetrahedral intermediate. What is this one? A tetrahedral intermediate you are going to get. This tetrahedral intermediate, upon the treatment with the acid, you are going to get the alcohol. You are going to get the alcohol. Finally, nucleophilic addition reactions will able to convert the aldehyde to the alcohol. Now you will see the reactivity order. You know the reactivity order. The aldehydes are having more reactive compared to ketones. Reactivity order. Aldehydes are more reactive compared to ketones. You know the reason because aldehydes are having only one alkyl group. Okay, so here because of steric and electronic reasons, and you see the order here, that is formaldehyde is more reactive compared to higher aldehydes. Higher aldehydes are more reactive compared to benzaldehyde. Benzaldehyde is more reactive compared to ketone. Ketone is more reactive compared to acetophenone. Acetophenone is more reactive compared to benzophenone. That means in this series, which is having more reactivity, formaldehyde is more reactive. Formaldehyde is more reactive. Okay. And here, which is having that is least reactivity. Benzophenone is having the least reactivity. So benzophenone is least reactive. Okay. Next, nucleophilic addition and elimination reactions. So not only aldehydes will show nucleophilic addition reactions, it will show nucleophilic addition followed by elimination reactions also. Example, you can see the carbonyl group is reacting with ammonia to form a compound called imine. Okay, and carbonyl group is substituted amine. You are going to get substituted imine. You are going to get this. Okay, where Z is equals to alkyl array. And apart from this nucleophilic addition elimination reactions, aldehydes also will undergo, that is reduction and oxidation reactions, right? So aldehyde can be converted to alcohol. Ketone can be converted into secondary alcohol. So how the aldehyde is converted into alcohol means by treating aldehyde with the, that is hydrogen in the presence of nickel, hydrogen in the presence of nickel, or platinum or palladium, or by treating with the, that is hydrating agents like lithium aluminum hydride, or by sodium borohydride. Okay, so by this we can prepare. So here you can see the, that is reactions. So here aldehyde is upon reduction. What you are going to get? Alkane. So how the, when the aldehydes are converted into alkanes, when the aldehydes are converted into alkanes here. So here upon treatment with the, that is zinc amalgam, upon treatment with zinc amalgam in the presence of HCl, upon treatment with zinc amalgam in the presence of HCl. So what happens here? This aldehyde will be converted to the, that is alkane. Okay, upon treatment with the, that is just a minute, zinc amalgam in the presence of HCl, this aldehyde will be converted into alkane. Zinc amalgam in the presence of HCl. Okay, and by treating with the, that is hydrogen. Okay, and then in the presence of red phosphorus. So this, what we used to call this one here, this is Clemmensen. This is Clemmensen reduction, and this is, if you are treating aldehyde with the hydrogen in the presence of KOH, this reaction what we are calling it as Wolff-Kishner reduction. Wolff-Kishner reduction. Fine. So here you are going to get the Wolff-Kishner reduction. Next, and we can convert this aldehyde and ketone to the alkanes upon, so by another reagent, that is hydrogen iodide in the presence of red phosphorus. Okay, this is third reagent. Okay, so by three methods, by using three different reaction conditions, we can prepare aldehydes and ketones to alkanes. First one is by Clemmensen reduction. We can convert an aldehyde or ketone to alkane. By Wolff-Kishner reduction also we can convert an aldehyde or ketone to alkane. And by treating aldehyde or ketone with hydrogen iodide in the presence of red phosphorus also, we can convert an aldehyde or ketone to alkane. Okay, next oxidation. Aldehydes will undergo oxidation with the mild oxidizing agents. Mild, what is meant by mild oxidizing agents? Mild means it is not strong as well as not weak. Okay, so it is a medium. Okay, we used to call mild oxidizing agents. And upon oxidation of aldehydes to carboxylic acids, so you are going to get the same number of carbon atoms. You are going to get the same number of carbon atoms. So aldehydes can be converted on oxidation. You are going to get carboxylic acid. In that carboxylic acid, you can see how many carbon atoms are in the parent aldehyde atom. Same number of carbon atoms are present in the product carboxylic acid. Next is ketone. Ketone on oxidation, what you are going to get? Carboxylic acids. Ketone on oxidation, what you are going to get? The carboxylic acids. Okay, but here you see that here ketones, the parent ketone, how many carbon atoms are having, but the product carboxylic acid will have lesser number of carbon atoms. Lesser number of carbon atoms. Okay, so you have to remember this. That is this exception. Okay, this is you have to remember this exception. So here aldehyde, it will convert to carboxylic acid. Ketone also convert to carboxylic acid. But aldehyde will be having that is aldehyde product on oxidation. You are going to get same number of carbon atoms. Ketone on oxidation, you are going to get carboxylic acid, but that carboxylic acid will be having the lesser number of carbon atoms compared to the ketone. Okay. Next, haloform reaction. So this aldehydes and ketones will undergo haloform reaction. So what is a group should be present for the haloform? So this is a group should be present. That is CH3CO group or this group. CH3, this group should be present. This is a condition. Okay. So for an aldehyde or ketone to undergo haloform reaction. Okay, for an aldehyde or ketone, in order to undergo haloform reaction, it should have, that is, the carbonyl group should be attached to CH3. The carbonyl group should be attached to CH3, like this. Okay, the carbonyl group should be attached to CH3. Or you can take a secondary alcohol, like this, a secondary alcohol of the type like this, CH3CHOH. Okay, secondary alcohol of its type CH3, CHOH. It will also undergo haloform reaction. Okay, so you can see this one. So what we are using sodium hypohalite. This NaOH we are calling it as sodium hypohalite. Sodium hypohalite, which will undergo haloform reaction, and you are going to get that is carboxylic acid salt of carboxylic acid plus haloform. Salt of carboxylic acid plus haloform you are going to get. Fine. Next, okay, next, aldol condensation. So this aldehydes, the condition. So aldol condensation, that is aldehyde will undergo aldol as well as ketone. And what is the condition? You should have alpha hydrogen. So if you are taking an aldehyde or ketone which is having alpha hydrogen, and upon treatment with that is dilute NaOH, what you are going to get? You are going to get a compound called aldol. You are going to get a compound called aldol. Okay. Kenzel reaction. Kenzel reaction is a reaction in which this aldehyde with no alpha hydrogen will undergo. Aldehyde with no alpha hydrogen will undergo Kenzel reaction. This Kenzel reaction we are calling it as that is it is a redox reaction. It is a redox reaction. Why means here you can see one aldehyde will be undergoing reduction, other aldehyde will undergoing oxidation. One aldehyde will undergo reduction, other aldehyde will undergo oxidation. Right. So this is about that is chemical properties. So aldehydes will undergo nucleophilic addition reaction, and this is a reactivity order. So here the benzophenone is the least reactive in the series. Most reactive is formaldehyde. Formaldehyde can undergo that is reactions very easily compared to the benzophenone. Benzophenone is having less reactive, so it is because of less reactive. So it won't take part in the that is reaction very quickly. Okay, and nucleophilic addition reactions and aldehydes and ketones will undergo reduction as well as oxidation. Okay, I said here, and it will undergo reduction with the three agents. One is Clemmensen, other is Wolff-Kishner, and other is hydrogen iodide in the presence of red phosphorus. And the aldehydes will undergo oxidation, and the product carboxylic acid will be having the same number of carbon atoms of aldehyde. And ketones on reduction also you are going to get carboxylic acid. But here the point which you have to remember is that in ketones the carboxylic acid which is formed is having one carbon atom less than the parent ketone. Okay, that you have to understand. And haloform reaction or conversation. Okay, so these are both chemical properties. Next, let us go for the next slide share. So now in this slide share, next I am going to discuss about that is distinction test, okay, between that is aldehydes and ketones. See here, distinctions test between aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so here, this aldehydes, it will undergo that is Gibbs reagent. Aldehydes will give which color? That is, okay. See here, aldehydes will show positive Gibbs test. It will show pink color and there is no color for ketones. Ketones won't show Gibbs test. Aldehydes will undergo Fehling solution test, but ketones won't undergo Fehling solution test. Aldehydes will show positive test for the tolerance reagent. Ketones won't undergo this. Okay, and aldehydes can react with sodium hydrogen hydroxide and it can form brown resinous mass, but ketones. And aldehyde can react with that is alkaline sodium nitroprusside, and you are going to get a deep red color. Okay, and here except formaldehyde, see the exception case. Formaldehyde won't give the sodium alkaline nitroprusside test. Okay, ketones will also show red color, which changes to orange. So here, what is Gibbs reagent? So Gibbs reagent is sometimes in the examination they won't ask this Gibbs reagent. Instead of Gibbs reagent test, they will ask that is when aldehyde and ketone is reacting with para-rosanilin hydrochloride. They will ask para-rosanilin hydrochloride. Para-rosanilin hydrochloride. This para-rosin hydrochloride, we are calling it as Schiff's reagent. So they will ask a question like this. So what happens when an aldehyde and ketone is reacting with the para-rosin hydrochloride, which will give the pink color? Instead of asking Schiff's, they will take the reagent para-rosin hydride, para-rosin hydrochloride. They will say. So aldehydes and ketones upon reaction with para-rosin hydrochloride, which will give the pink color, means aldehydes. This para-rosin hydrochloride is nothing but it is a Schiff's reagent. It is a Schiff's reagent, right? Next, Fehling solution. Aldehydes. What is Fehling solution? You know the Fehling solution is nothing but Fehling solution A and Fehling solution B. We have two types: Fehling solution A plus Fehling solution B. Fehling solution is A is nothing but it is copper sulfate. Fehling solution B is that is potassium salt of that is tartaric acid. Potassium or sodium salt of tartaric acid. Okay, so this is Fehling solution. So it will reduce us. Aldehydes will reduce this Fehling solution because it is having the that is because of this hydrogen, it will reduce us the Fehling solution, and we are going to get red PPT because of the copper. So copper will be deposited, copper oxide. Next, tolerance reagent aldehydes will show the positive test for tolerance reagent, and you are going to silver mirror and ketones no PPT. And aldehydes will react with sodium hydroxide, and you are going to get brown resinous mass, but ketones. And so aldehydes will show the sodium alkaline nitroprusside test, except formaldehyde. Formaldehyde won't show this the sodium nitroprusside test. And ketones, it will also react with the sodium alkaline nitroprusside. Red color changes to orange. Okay, so this is about the aldehydes and ketones. Next, we will go for the carboxylic acids. So this is a preparation of carboxylic acids. Preparation of carboxylic acids. So here, carboxylic acids, you can see here how it is prepared. The carboxylic acids here, there are 6 methods are listed in this table. First is carboxylic acids we can prepare from, that is we can prepare from alcohols. We can prepare from the alcohols. Okay, and we can prepare from nitriles and amides. Nitriles and amides are nothing but these are the that is derivatives of carboxylic acid. Nitrites and amides are derivatives of carboxylic acid. Next, third one we can prepare from the Grignard reagents. Fourth one we can prepare from esters. Also we can prepare, that is carboxylic acid, and we can prepare from carbonylation of alkenes also, and from methyl ketones also we can. Let us look into the details. Oxidation of primary alcohols. So if you are oxidizing primary alcohol with strong that is alkaline KMNO4 is a strong oxidizing agent. Strong oxidizing agent. So if you are that is oxidizing primary alcohol with strong oxidizing agent like alkaline KMNO4, we are going to get the aldehyde. This aldehyde upon oxidation, we are going to get the carboxylic acid. Okay. So here that means the reaction won't stop here. The reaction won't stop here. It will further proceed to the carboxylic acid. Why means because we are making use of strong oxidizing agent. Next, if you are taking that is hydrolysis of nitriles and amides. The nitriles on hydrolysis, cyanides or nitriles both are same. So nitriles and amides on hydrolysis, you are going to get carboxylic acid and a byproduct ammonia. From Grignard reagents, also you can prepare. That means when Grignard reagent is reacting with the carbon dioxide, so we are going to get the carboxylic acid and magnesium halohydride. Ester hydrolysis, you know that when esters on hydrolysis, you are going to get that is acid and alcohol. Acid and alcohol. So reverse reaction also will takes place. So acid and alcohol will react together to form esters. Okay. So here acid plus alcohol also gives the esters. So this is a reversible reaction. Okay. So when if you are taking, this is a carboxylic acid and this is an alcohol. These upon this upon reaction treatment with when these two will react in the presence of an acid, what you are going to get? You are going to get an ester plus water. So here, this is a reaction. Okay, forward reaction is that is carboxylic acid when reacts with alcohol to give the ester and water. So in the reaction mixture, water is produced. If you are not removing water, okay, if you are not removing water time to time, what happens means this ester again it will react with water to give back the acid and alcohol. Okay. Next, carbonization of alkenes. So alkenes upon treatment with carbon monoxide in the presence of steam, H3PO4 at 570 600 Kelvin, you are going to get this carboxylic acid. And from methyl ketones. So from methyl ketones, so this is we are calling it as methyl ketones. So if you see this reaction, it is nothing but it is an haloform reaction only. It is an haloform reaction. Haloform reaction, you see the reagent. This is sodium hypoiodide. Sodium hypoiodide we have taken. Haloform reagent, this is in your way. So you know that in haloform reaction, so you are going to get carboxylic acid and haloform. Which haloform we got here? Iodoform. Okay, so this is a haloform reaction. So we are taking methyl ketones and we are reacting with sodium hypoiodide and we are going to get that is a carboxylic acid and iodoform anyway. So this is a preparation. Next, let us go for the properties. Very important properties. Chemical reactions. You see these chemical reactions. So here, this aldehydes, sorry, this carboxylic acid will undergo 5 types of reactions. It will show 5 types of reaction. This is type 1. Okay, this type 1 reaction. This is first type of reaction. This is second type of reaction. This is third type. And this is the fourth type of reaction. And this is fifth type of reaction. Total, this carboxylic acid will undergo 5 types of reactions. Aliphatic carboxylic acid. And this is aromatic carboxylic acid. Okay, this is different. So aliphatic carboxylic acid will undergo 5 types of chemical reactions. First one is reactions involving cleavage of OH bond. So here, you know this carboxylic acid functional group. So this is the carboxylic acid, C double bond OH is the carboxylic acid. So here, first type of reaction will takes place by breaking this bond. So how can we break this bond upon reaction with the that is P2O5. P2O5 is dehydrating agent. What is P2O5? P2O5 is a dehydrating agent. Dehydrating agent. So carboxylic acid will undergo dehydration in the presence of phosphorus pentoxide and we are going to get anhydride. We are going to get the anhydride. So you have to take the 2 carboxylic acids like this. 2 carboxylic acids we have to take. 2 moles of carboxylic acid we have to take and this on heating with the P2O5. What happens here? H2O is eliminated here. And this oxygen will link to this this group also and thereby what you are going to get RC double bond like this. This we are calling it as anhydride. What this we are calling it as anhydride. Right. So we will get anhydride. Upon reaction of upon heating of carboxylic acid with P2O5, we are going to get the anhydride. Next, carboxylic acid upon treatment with alcohol. Ester. This reaction we are calling it as esterification reaction. This reaction it is which reaction? Esterification reaction. This is esterification reaction. Above one is dehydration reaction. Dehydration reaction. Next, carboxylic acid upon treatment with PCl3. PCl3, what you are going to get? Acid chloride you are going to get. Okay, OH will be removed and Cl will be joined and you are going to get acid. Okay, next carboxylic acid upon heated with ammonia, OH will be removed, NH2 will be coming and you are going to get the amide. Right, next reactions involving proton of OH group. This is second type of reactions. First type of reactions completed. Second type of reactions, what we are doing? So reactions involving proton of OH group. That means, you know, this is a carboxylic acid, D double bond OH. Now, the reactions due to breakage of oxygen and hydrogen bond. Second type of reactions is due to cleavage of oxygen and hydrogen bond. Okay, so the oxygen and hydrogen bond in carboxylic acid can be cleaved upon reaction with the sodium metal and we are going to get the sodium carboxylate And upon reaction with NaOH, also the oxygen and hydrogen bond is cleaved, and we are going to get the same sodium carboxylate and H2O. Upon reaction with Na2CO3, that is a weak base, also you are going to get the sodium carboxylate. And upon reaction with very weak base sodium bicarbonate, also you are going to get sodium salt of carboxylic acid H2O. But all these four reactions are nothing but acid-base reactions. All these four reactions are acid-base reactions. So this is an acid, and this is having the basic character. Acid plus base, what you are going to get? Salt. In all these four reactions, you are going to get the salt. So this is a second type of reactions. Next, third type of reactions also. Let us discuss the third type of reactions which carboxylic acid will undergo. So reactions involving C double bond O group. Reactions involving C double bond group. That means in carboxylic acid, only the C double bond O group is involved in the reaction. Only the C double bond O group is involved in the reaction, but not OH and but not alkyl. So this carbonyl group in carboxylic acid, C double bond O group in carboxylic acid will be reduced upon treatment with lithium aluminum hydride or upon treatment with diborane. And followed by hydrolysis, we are going to get alcohol. We are going to get the alcohol. That means carboxylic acid upon treatment with lithium aluminum hydride or diborane followed by hydrolysis, you are going to get that is alcohol. Very important. Okay, this is the third type of reactions. And fourth type of reactions. Let us discuss the fourth type of reaction. In fourth type of reactions involving COH group. Okay, in carboxylic acid, so this COH group will be involved. Only the COH, but not alkyl group. Alkyl group won't be involved in the fourth type of reactions. So reactions involving COH group. So under this, only one type of reaction is there. That reaction we are calling it as decarboxylation reaction. We are calling it as decarboxylation. Okay. So here, only this decarboxylation. So decarboxylation, how carboxylic acid will undergo decarboxylation? Upon treatment with the decarboxylating agent like NaOH and CaO. So NaOH and CaO, so this we are calling it as a decarboxylating agent. So when carboxylic acid is treated with the decarboxylating agent like NaOH and CaO, what happens? CO2 will be eliminated, and you are going to get an alkane. You are going to get the alkane, right? Next is reactions involving alkyl group. So fifth type of reactions involving alkyl group. That means this won't be participated. This won't undergo reaction. Only alkyl group will undergo reaction. This one will undergo reaction. Example HVZ reaction. In HVZ reaction, the carboxylic acid should contain alpha hydrogen. That alpha hydrogen will be replaced by the halogen. So you will get like this. That alpha hydrogen is replaced by halogen. You can see here in the reactant, two alpha hydrogens are present. These upon treatment with halogen in the presence of red phosphorus and in the presence of H2O, what you are going to get? You are going to get alpha halocarboxylic acid. Alpha halocarboxylic acid. So this is HVZ, that is reagent. Okay. X2 in the presence of red phosphorus. X2 in the presence of red phosphorus means this we are calling it as HVZ reaction conditions. Okay. And we are going to get alpha halocarboxylic acid, that we are going to HVZ reaction. Okay. Next, let us go further. That is next screen share. Okay, physical properties I have to discuss. Let us discuss the physical properties. So if you see the physical properties of carboxylic acids, these carboxylic acids, same solubility is inversely proportional to molecular mass and high boiling point due to because of intermolecular hydrogen bonding in carboxylic acids. And melting and boiling points of aromatic acids are, that is usually higher than aliphatic acids. So this is very important point. Okay, so here that is aromatic carboxylic acids are having higher boiling points compared to aliphatic acids. Very, very important. So if they are asking which is having more boiling point, the examination, if they ask which is having more boiling point, they will give benzoic acid, and acetic acid. Which is having more boiling point? Benzoic acid is having more boiling point, because here I said now aromatic acids are having more boiling points compared to this carboxylic acids. Just a minute. Sir, చెప్పండి సార్, చెప్పండి సార్. ఇంకొక 5 minutes సార్ అయిపోతుంది. ఓకే సార్. ఓకే సార్. నాకు ఆప్షన్ ఉంటుందిలెండి. అసైన్ చేసి లీవ్ చేస్తాను. సర్లేండి. ఓకే. నేను చేస్తానులెండి. ఓకే. ఓకే సార్. రవి సార్ వస్తారు. ఓకే సార్. ఓకే. Okay. So this is aromatic carboxylic acids. Next one, let us discuss about that is the last screen share in this reaction. Uh, this is chemical properties. So here, this carboxylic acid are having more acidic character. Carboxylic acid is having a more acidic character. Mm. Carboxylic acids are having a more acidic character compared to phenols. Okay. Carboxylic acid is having that is more acidic compared to phenols, and phenols are more acidic compared to alcohols. Fine. Next, if any electron donating group is present, if electron donating group is present, okay, electron donating group decreases the acidity. Electron donating group decreases the acidity, and electron withdrawing group increases the acidity. Okay, if electron donating group like methyl group or any other group is attached, that will decrease the acidity of carboxylic acid. Suppose if any electron withdrawing group like nitro group NO2 or any other group is attached, means that will increase the acidity of carboxylic acid. And here, more the electronegativity of the atom attached to carboxylic acid, more will be the acidity. Suppose if you are taking that is chlorine substituted FCH2 COOH. Okay, if you are taking that is FCH2 COOH. Next, if you are taking BrCH2 COOH. Next, Cl CH2 COOH and ICH2 COOH. So we are taking this uh, that is four carboxylic acids. In this, fluorine substituted carboxylic acid, bromine substituted carboxylic acid, and chlorine substituted carboxylic acid, and iodine substituted carboxylic. Among these four, which is having more acidic character, means fluorine substituted carboxylic acid is more acidic character. Why means because it is more electronegative in nature. It is more electronegative in nature. So thereby, what you are going to get here, you are going to get that is fluorine substituted acetic acid is having more acidic character compared to chlorine substituted carboxylic acetic acid. It is having more acidic character compared to bromine substituted acetic acid. It is more having acidic character compared to iodine substituted acetic acid. This is the order, right? Next distinction test. Sodium bicarbonate, this carboxylic acid will show sodium bicarbonate test. Sodium bicarbonate is very weak base. It is very weak base. Carboxylic acid is strong acid. So sodium bicarbonate, okay, it will react with carboxylic acid and you are going to get the CO2 gas. But phenols and alcohols won't show this reaction. Why means phenols and alcohols are less acidic. Phenols and alcohols are less acidic compared to carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid being a strong acid, it can react with a weak base. It can react with a weak base like sodium bicarbonate, and you can see the evolution of the CO2 gas. Phenols and alcohols which are less acidic than carboxylic acid, it won't show the reaction with sodium bicarbonate. Like this, we can distinguish carboxylic acid from phenols and alcohols. One more is a new FeCl3 test. Carboxylic acid will give buff color and phenol will give violet or blue color or red color will give, but alcohols won't show this reaction. Okay, so this is that is distinction test of the carboxylic acid. Okay, so this is about the synopsis of aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acids. Okay, and tomorrow we will discuss the that is we will discuss the topic that we will discuss some MCQs. Okay, objective questions based on this uh, aldehydes, ketones, and carboxylic acid. Okay. Okay, I am leaving the meeting.